The Federal Trade Commission just filed a pretty big lawsuit against Hims, and I gotta be honest, I think Hims could be in trouble. I'm gonna go over exactly what's in the lawsuit, why they're suing, and what could happen with Hims and Hers. Let's get into it. Please give me a like and subscribe, I really appreciate it. Just to keep in mind, I am a Hims investor and I'm also a Hims subscriber. I've been using their products and I have experience with what they're talking about, right? If it's true or not true. And I'm going to go over exactly my experience as well. And, if this lawsuit holds any water, right? If it holds any weight. So the FTC and states, which is going to be California and Utah, they act against Hims and Hers for deceptive and unlawful privacy practices. They're saying that they are sharing the sensitive health information with third-party advertising platforms despite promising patient privacy. Now that's just the privacy part. They're also talking about subscriptions and other things. We're going to get into it. So the FTC, joined by Utah and California, today sued Hims and Hers, alleging that the telehealth provider shared consumers' sensitive health information about medical conditions with third-party advertising platforms, and it deceives users about its billing and cancellation practices. It says that that Hims fails to clearly disclose that it charges consumers for prescriptions almost immediately after they submit an intake form. If you are a Hims subscriber, please let me know exactly what your experience was. And then it says, despite telling the consumers that they'll be able to consult with a medical provider to find a treatment that's right for them, right? So it's saying that you get charged right away before you even talk to somebody. So it's also saying that it's difficult for consumers to cancel subscriptions and misled consumers about keeping their health information private. The FTC alleges that Hims shared consumers' health information with Meta, Snap, and other third parties. FTC's complaint lays out a troubling scenario where consumers unknowingly locked into recurring subscriptions and the disclosure to third parties of consumers' most private health information without their consent. So that's pretty big. Hims has claimed that consumers can connect and consult with a medical provider through Hims to determine whether they need a prescription medication. The FTC alleges, however, that Hims does not give most consumers a consultation with a provider. Instead, by submitting their intake form, most consumers will unknowingly be charged for and subscribe to a prescription treatment without having a chance to review or approve it. I have screenshots of my messages and when I got charged, so I'm going to go over exactly what happened with me and you guys share what happened with you. In addition, the complaint alleges that Hims fails to clearly and conspicuously inform consumers when their prescriptions will be refilled each month, making it difficult to cancel before the next billing cycle. The FTC also alleges that the company makes it extremely difficult to cancel its subscriptions. All right, so we're all over the place, right? You're getting charged right away, right? Before you even talk to anybody, you're getting charged before you even know if you're approved. And then, once you're approved, it's hard to cancel, right? And then once you're in their system, all your medical information is part of their network and being shared, right? This is not good. Now, in addition, the complaint alleges that Hims shared consumers' sensitive health information to third parties, like we just said, Meta and Snap. It also says that they shared their information via third-party tracking technologies that automatically shared certain events, the actions of visitors on Hims' website with those companies. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I feel like that's with everything. I go on any website. If I search anything on Amazon or on anything, like immediately I'm getting advertisements from Google, from Instagram, from everywhere. It's like, I don't even question how do they know what I'm looking at. They know everything that I'm looking. So, but the sensitive health information, like if you have erectile dysfunction, I mean, I don't exactly know how that gets. If they're trying to, I don't know. I don't know how that works with like your real information, right? Because I looked up testosterone. Now I don't remember getting am I getting advertisements for muscle building stuff? I don't remember that, but. Anyway, like I said, I have a subscription for testosterone. I'm gonna go over my full experience of what they're alleging. Now, Hims and Hers actually responded to the lawsuit. They said that the lawsuit disregards substantial evidence that they provided to the FTC during its nearly 3-year investigation. That's big. It's been 3 years that they've been investigating them. It ignores established state laws and industry standards in telehealth and contorts the law to try to manufacture claims. This is not an enforcement grounded in consumer protection. It is an effort to generate headlines at our expense. We are confident in our position and will vigorously defend ourselves against these baseless claims. Sounds very familiar to what Novo, when they went at him, and what happened. They settled and they ended up selling Novo's Wegovy, right? So I'm also going to go over exactly what I think is going to happen in this lawsuit and historically what happens. So will they win the lawsuit? All right, so first, if Hims and Hers proves they did not commit these violations, they will avoid court-ordered penalties, but they will not escape scot-free, right? They have to pay something, right? A total defense wins the legal battle, but the company still faces irreversible business, financial, and regulatory consequences. I have business right here because I'm going to explain exactly what's really going to hurt them. So even if a federal judge rules completely in the favor of Hims, the victory comes with significant burdens like non-recoverable legal fees, irreversible reputational damage, and executive distraction. Now, to be honest with you, the legal fees, yes, no matter what, they're going to be paying a penalty and legal fees no matter what. Executive distraction, yes and no. Yeah, the top execs may be distracted a little bit by the lawsuit, but at the same time, let's be real, they're probably dealing with all kinds of stuff anyway. The irreversible reputational damage is what I think is going to be the hardest thing. That's what happened with Wegovy. When they got hit with that lawsuit, it just put such a negative cloud over the brand, and I think that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to be the most pain for Hims, right? Now, the reality of FTC settlements versus total victories, you have to remember, a settlement is saying, look, they settle it, they don't admit to anything, they just pay a big fine. Total victories, you defend yourself to the all the way to the end, and you're proven innocent, and you win. So, if they do a pretrial settlement, Hims agrees to a fine and strict data monitoring without admitting fault to end the litigation quickly. Most likely to happen. Now, they don't end up scot-free. They will pay money and submit to 20 years of federal audits. Well, if we're gonna do dumb stuff, complete dismissal. If they go, they defend themselves and they win it, Hims proves their code never shared data and their billing was perfectly transparent, causing the judge to throw out the case. Probably not going to happen. Legally, it looks great. Financially, no, they're going to avoid penalties but absorb the massive defense costs. What Hims must prove to defend itself? The privacy claim. They got to show that their servers never shared any of the information and subscriptions. They have to show that that it was easy to cancel and all that stuff. But the most likely outcome is a negotiated corporate settlement, historically resulting in a multi-million-dollar fine, a court-enforced ban on sharing tracking data, and 20 years of mandatory independent privacy audits. So, while they did say they're going to vigorously defend themselves, overwhelmingly historical data shows that over 90% of federal regulatory corporate lawsuits end in settlements rather than a full trial. So, what's going to happen? What a settlement agreement will look like, because we're looking at a 90% chance that this is going to be a settlement, right? So financial penalties, the final combined amount is expected to land anywhere between 15 and 30 million. That's a big range, but you can expect it to be a pretty hefty fine. Permanent behavioral bans, they'll be illegally blocked from utilizing third-party advertising pixels like Meta and Snap to track user activity tied to specific medical conditions or medications. That would be bad. And then mandatory business restructuring. The company will have to redesign its interface to make sure that people can cancel and deal with their subscriptions easier, right? That's what it would happen. Now, this would obviously still be bad. I think when it comes to the third party, not able to, get the information, right? The data is gold right now. And so I'm going to go over my personal experience, though. I'm going to go over my personal experience and what I think is exactly going to happen with Hims. I honestly do think they're going to settle. And the reason why I'm 99.9% sure they're going to settle is because the lawsuit is real. It's true. It is true. I had the same experience, and I was actually kind of upset at first. I was like, what the hell? I just submitted this form. I'm interested. And yeah, I did obviously submitting my payment information, but it was like, oh, you'll get charged if you are subscribed to the medication, right? Okay, well, let's go over if that really happened. So, first of all, really quick, my personal experience, right, with it, this is how, when it comes to canceling your subscription, it's easy. So this is what you do. You go to your subscriptions, you go down to the bottom, you just click manage subscription. You can click, disable or whatever, cancel, right? If you look, right, we go back just a second, turn off auto renewal or discontinue plan, right? You just click that. Yes, confirm, no, don't cancel. Simple. Then you've canceled it, right? If you want to change your refill date, you can change it, right? It's going to say right here, your current refill scheduled, you're changing it now, right? So it's very simple in the terms of when it, doing the refilling your subscription and canceling your subscription. That is okay. But let me show you this. I started messaging them about testosterone. Welcome message. Welcome to messaging ever. This is the first time. Hey, here's our chat. April 2nd, right? Patient has sent an introduction and has asked an additional question here, right? So when you see this, I've asked an additional question, right? April 2nd. These are my posted transactions from Wells Fargo. April 2nd, Hims and Hers, full price. Now, I do believe that this was they're sending me a lab kit, and then I will be charged when I actually get approved, maybe. So I'll be honest, this could be, hey, like I got the labs, right? So they sent, it's a subscription. I go twice a year to Quest and I get that. And then this was for my prescription, but I was already paying something, for my subscription. And I do remember like, hey, what is this? What's going on? So I think it might be confusing to some people because they did send me, they have to send you, I'm drawing a blank on it, but they're sending the TASO, right? The blood draw, the at-home blood draw. So you're taking your own blood and you're sending it back to them. Now, it says if you can take your blood, you get charged to take your blood. Now, again, this is testosterone and labs. This is not for erectile dysfunction. It's not for hair, skin, everything else they offer. This is just for the labs and testosterone, which you have to send them your blood so they can see exactly how much you need. So they did charge me right away before I actually went in and before I even scheduled my appointment to get the blood test. But that would make sense, right? That they have to create the order for you to take the blood test. It's got to go somewhere. They have to create the order for Quest. So I understand, like, I haven't done the erectile dysfunction, the skin, the hair, any of those. So I don't know exactly what that process is if you're getting charged right away. But it just seemed like when you go back to my message, right? It says right here, the patient has sent an intro with other questions. And then I put, after seeing my results, but they never answered those questions that I even put on that thing, right? On the introduction, right? And so after my results, as you can see, I got the blood draw and I sent it back really quickly. So I saw the results. So that can be a little tricky with Hims, that they do charge really quickly. And messaging a doctor can be not tricky, but sometimes you don't get responded right away. And I do understand that, like, they set you up right away, but you're also on a subscription. It's like saying, I want to watch some Netflix before I pay. I don't know if Netflix is good, but that's kind of what it is because they work on a subscription model. And so that's going to be interesting, right? Where you're not necessarily paying for the prescription, you're paying for a subscription. And once you have the subscription, that allows you to talk to their medical professionals. So you have to pay first to talk to their medical professionals, essentially, right? And then if you don't want to get it, you get it did say that you will get reimbursed if you do not go through with it. So that's that. It's going to be a little, that's kind of confusing, right? For some people, because it's just going to be you get charged right away, and you're immediately like, what the hell? Again, I don't know what those other products, how they manage it, how they work. If you're trying to get something for your skin, your hair, anything, your other parts of your body, like, I don't know exactly what that process is of if you're getting charged before, if you have questions. Now, as you can see, I got charged right away, but I had questions. But I got charged right away. So I definitely think that that's going to be it's going to be interesting because it is subscription based, technically, not prescription based. Right, so it's a little confusing because you're also dealing with medicine and medical, and when you start dealing with that, you really have to be on point, or else things can go bad. Lawsuits come up in pharma, in pharmaceuticals and in the medical industry. It's like that's what's going to happen. So you have to have your I's dotted, your T's crossed. You got to make sure that things are right, because if not, they're going to find it and they're going to come at you. So anyway, that is just my opinion on Hims and Hers. I think I'm 99% sure they're going to settle out of court. So really at the end of it, whether they did all these things or not is probably not going to matter. They're probably just, if they are absolutely completely innocent, they will maybe take it all the way to court and try to prove themselves correct. They probably messed up a little bit on some of this at some point. At some point, I'm sure it was harder to cancel. I'm sure at some point people were getting charged a lot faster than maybe I was, which is almost seemingly impossible. But, if that's the case, then they're going to settle, because they're not going to take a risk of it going all the way and then not being completely innocent, right? So they're probably going to settle. They're going to have to deal with the big fine that they're going to take, and then the 20 years of having to do the audits. But it is what it is. With Hims, you're going to have to accept that there's going to be these types. Now, the one thing that I think is going to be bad, because I also do want to look at the stock really quick, and it's down 28% since the peptides meeting, right? It's only been 5 days and it's down 28%. But when we look at this, let me go back a little more. I mean, this thing goes up, down, up, down. I mean, the moves on Hims are so significant. This shouldn't be much of a surprise, right? But, when we're looking good. We're looking so good, right? Going from, what is this, 22 all the way to 37, 38 bucks. We're feeling it. Now we're back down to 25. Let's see what happens. Maybe the shorts come back in. I mean, now it's going to be interesting, because what can go worse? What can really happen now, right? I mean, what can happen? Who else is going to sue them for some? I mean, I guess another lawsuit, right? But they've already been in the headlines. Now, the thing about this is just like, you don't want to be the company that leaked sensitive health information out there. That what I was talking about, reputational, hit on their reputation. That's going to be big. Their brand is going to take a hit if there's just someone just saying, "Oh, we're here for the people. We're here to make you healthy," and all that stuff, and yet you're slanging our information out there like that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens. Like I said, I do believe it's just going to be a straight settlement. Like I said, between 15 to 30 million. So who really knows exactly how much? But Hims will get a slap on the wrist, maybe a possible slap in the face, because I think the brand could take a hit. I am a current investor and I'm a subscriber, so I want good things for Hims, but I can't lie, I am getting pretty exhausted of Hims. And the stock market in general has been kind of, a little crazy, but Hims has been getting me upset now for a while. It's really hurt my portfolio performance, and at this price, I can't let go of it. But it just had me questioning, because it had the Novo lawsuit, and I was like, okay, where it was at that time, I knew they were going to beat that lawsuit, or at least I knew they were going to get through that, and they did. And now we got another lawsuit, right? It's just, and then the peptides, like, great peptides, but it might not happen for at least a year and a half. So Anyway, that's my take. Please give me a like and subscribe. I really appreciate anyone who is watching right now. Thank you so much. And yeah, never forget to earn it, save it, invest it, buy low, sell high. I want assets, not liabilities, and you can count on compounded interest.